Tonight, mostly clear, breezy, a low of 0 with the wind chill 15 to 25 degrees below 0. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Jessica Gatso. A thin ice warning on Beaver Dam Lake. Dodge County Sheriff's Office issued the warning after 3 snowmobile accidents happened within 24 hours. Each one went through the ice northeast of Evergreen Island near the south end of the lake. 2 snowmobile riders were rescued Saturday afternoon and 1 was rescued Sunday morning. None were injured. The Sheriff's Office reminds riders to use caution on lakes. Local bait shops are good resources of information on ice depth and hazardous areas. No injuries after an early morning fire at Richland Center High School. Crews arrived just after 4 a.m. Saturday to find a fire in the stadium's concession stand. The fire appears to have been electrical in nature. The stand has significant damage, and the cause of the fire is still being investigated. ABC News learning about 13 immigration judges laid off by the Justice Department as the ongoing immigration crackdown continues, despite growing resource shortages.
ICE says it arrested more than 8,200 people between January 22nd and January 31st, but ICE has stopped releasing updated numbers, and a fraction of those detained were released back into the U.S. because of a lack of resources. Just days ago, Trump's border czar expressing frustration with the number of ICE arrests. Homan meeting with New York City Mayor Eric Adams and says he's agreed to work with the Trump administration while they increase teams conducting operations in the city.
The Trump administration is asking the Supreme Court to overrule a lower court's decision to pause the firing of Hampton Dellinger as the lead of the Office of Special Counsel. CBS News legal analyst Thane Rosenbaum.
This appeal to the Supreme Court is a bit premature because temporary restraining orders are temporary by definition, sometimes lasting just a few weeks. Why not wait until the federal district judge at least renders a decision on whether the president can unilaterally fire the head of the Office of Special Counsel? If the Supreme Court decides to hear this case, it will set a precedent that all temporary injunctions can be instantly appealed.
Human cases of bird flu are starting to appear. Dr. Nilanjan Lode tells Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News flu vaccinations can help.
That can definitely protect you to become severely ill. And it becomes really problematic if you have a population or people in your own family who are elderly or who are small children or who have other complications, immunocompromised issues. They might be much more vulnerable if they have severe infection.
Dr. Lode says deep cleaning and checking water sources are ways to help prevent the spread of bird flu. New details on home sales in the greater Milwaukee area for the month of January. Sales, listings, and average sale price are all up.
According to the Greater Milwaukee Association of Realtors, home sales in the metro Milwaukee area in January increased by 7%. While the market seems to be adapting to the increase in interest rates, demand is far outpacing inventory. The average sale price for a home in metro Milwaukee up 14% from January of 2024, just under $374,000. Greg Matzik, WTMJ News.
The metro Milwaukee area has roughly 2 months of inventory available. 6 months is considered a balanced market. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 7:03.
James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner. JamesImaging.com.
Great Midwest Bank has document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems, a 100% locally owned and managed business technology company. The bank's IT systems administrator, Michael Quizan, comments on the value of local.
We call on them at any point, they're there. We ask them any questions that we have, they're there.
James Imaging Systems, local business technology solutions, local support, local accountability. Luther Gray, Director of Ticket Operations and Group Sales for the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra.
If an issue does arise, they're very prompt, polite, and professional. It makes me feel empowered because I find it very easy to resolve something.
James Imaging Systems client, Al Leidinger, President of Matheson Manufacturing, summarized the benefit of local.
James Imaging has been a really good partner with us from the beginning.
Go with local. Go with James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text RADIO to 52886. and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gerber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. In the NBA All-Star Weekend, Damian Lillard fell short in the three-point contest. Tyler Hero of the Miami Heat coming out the winner. Tonight's All-Star game starts at 7:20. In Wisconsin's women's basketball, the Badgers defeated Penn State this afternoon 75-68. Badgers Sports Updates are sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding and a whole lot more. The Daytona 500 resumes after rain delayed the race for hours. Reigning NASCAR Cup Series champion Joey Logano took the opening stage, which ended under caution following a multi-car collision. Taking a look at the roads with your Johnson & Sons paving time-saver traffic. Mostly clear on the roads this evening, no major incidents and no delays. And time for the WTMJ forecast. Tonight we have mostly clear skies, breezy and very cold with that cold weather advisory starting at midnight. A low of 0 degrees and the wind chill 15 to 25 below zero. Monday, partly sunny and breezy, still very cold with a high of 8, wind chill 20 to 10 below zero. On Tuesday, mostly sunny and still bitterly cold, a high of 10 with wind chill 25 to 5 degrees below zero. Wednesday, mostly cloudy with a slight chance for flurries towards the evening, a high of 14. Thursday, partly sunny, a high of 20. And Friday, partly cloudy, a high of 24. Right now in Madison, it's 11 degrees. In Green Bay, it's 13. In Waukesha, it's 13. And in Milwaukee, it's 17 degrees. I'm Jessica Gatso, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 7:07.
This is The Truth Unfiltered with Denise Thomas and Dr. Ken Harris.
None of the individuals that are serving on his cabinet, and I want to be clear when I say this, and it's not to be critical or to be biased, it is a fact. No one that he has selected to serve on his cabinet knows what it's like to make decisions about whether I can go to the doctor so I can live longer, or because I can't pay, file bankruptcy and put myself in a even further financial burden. No one of those people know what that's like. Not one.
What is it about DEI that gets under your craw? Like, what is it about DEI that makes people just get upset, get mad, lose it? Like, what exactly, what is it? Like, I don't know.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studio at the Avenue, here's Denise Thomas and Dr. Ken Harris.
Good evening and welcome. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris, along with is she effervescent today or a fading moon?
Definitely the latter. But I'm here.
Denise Thomas, hey, what's going on?
Good afternoon or good evening. I don't even know what time it is. I just literally flew in from Medellin, Colombia.
Aren't they on Central Time?
No, they're on Eastern.
Eastern?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I forget as you go south, everything shifts east. And I didn't realize that. I think I said it before when I flew to Cancun and I flew to Baltimore. And I'm like, shouldn't we be going south? And I was like, yeah, if I went south, I would have been in Texas. But I went east and then straight south and it went straight to Cancun. I was like, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was a long flight. I've been flying since, 4 o'clock this morning.
Oh.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, it was like,
that was a fake.
Trust me. I know. It's you, Dr. Ken. But yeah, all's well that ends well. We're going to have a great show. Truth Unfiltered. But Colombia is a vibe. It is a vibe. And there's so much growth. Medellin in particular, tremendous infrastructure development. And let's just say this, and I know you already know this. The USD.
Yes. Powerful. Powerful. That's the best thing about not going to Europe.
Man.
When you go south, you can act a plumb fool.
It was like, I felt like I was Queen Elizabeth II. May she rest in power. It was like, I'm just trying to okay, so for example, I have a friend who lives there, Dr. Ken, and he recently purchased what would be considered in the U.S. an apartment complex.
Is he an expat or he's from there?
He's an expat. So he's a U.S. transplant expat. Okay. Yep. And he started out in Cali, and then he was in Cartagena.
Mm-hmm.
Because, the thing about Colombia, which I love, you could get any of those major cities, whether you take a regional jet for like $40 US or Colombian pesos. I think it's like, I don't know, maybe
2 million.
Like it's like 220,000 Colombian pesos. But yeah, so he purchased I want to say 12-unit apartment complex. Are you ready for this? I probably should. Nobody knows who he is. 62,000 USD.
Yeah, I can believe it.
And killing the game.
Yeah.
Killing the game. And because this is the Truth Unfiltered.
So when are we starting a investment?
Now you're saying the right stuff. And that's the thing about Americans. When I say this, I mean all of us. When we think of black people, we think of black people in America.
Right.
Black people are everywhere. Black people, so you have black Colombians that do not speak English.
Right.
Like every time I go to Colombia, I have to remind myself, just because they're black doesn't mean they don't speak the native tongue. Like, seriously, I'll be like, hey, what's up, my brother? And they're looking
at me.
You
get the head tilt. Huh?
No, yeah. So Colombia is a vibe. If you have not visited or traveled to Colombia, do not believe the hype. It was funny because you know how your algorithms or your phone can hear you, and the algorithms will feed you certain information depending on your social media platform. So last night, as I was preparing to fly back from Colombia, I get this like travel alert that Bogota, which is where I flew into from Medellin to get here.
Right.
Oh, travel alert. Red, red, red. Danger, danger, danger.
Yeah.
Why do we do that as Americans? Make it seem like every other country is just unsafe.
I'll tell you that offline.
Tell us now, Dr. Kent. It's the Truth Unfiltered.
This truth can't be. This truth has to be filtered. Has to be filtered.
Y'all ought to see how I'm looking at Dr. Kent.
Well, you see how I'm looking at you.
Okay, so let me say it differently then.
You could say it differently, but you're gonna get the same answer.
Let me present a question then.
But I appreciate that.
Let me present it in the form of a question in a different format.
Real calm coach.
Why do you feel as though even in 2025, where people have so much access to so much information regarding what traditionally has been regarded as, third world countries or underserved countries or countries that just aren't like America, why do we still have this narrative where we're like perpetuating these stereotypes that any country outside of the U.S. is dangerous or unsafe, or especially like when you go into continents like Africa or South America?
Right.
Because let me tell you, warmest, friendly people in terms of the Colombian natives, and I have to say it because as you can see my hat, it's not Colombia, it's Colombia. I'm trying to get
Colombia. Lom, not
Thank
lum.
You. I'm public school, Evansville. I keep telling you this, Dr. Kent.
Okay.
So why do you think that we still perpetuate this unnecessary and invalid fear that when you go to countries that are predominantly brown or black, I mean, this is unfiltered, in South America, pretty much like, fun fact, interesting fact, the majority of the world, people on Earth, are people of color. The majority of people. Like Europe is like...
I like to call them non-whites.
Yeah, that the majority
because
of
the
people...
number is so broad in terms of skin color, nationality, and culture. I think we do a disservice when we say white people and people of color, because you lumped 8, 10, 12 billion people, right? I don't know, man. You know what I mean?
Well,
Billions
it's just like
of people,
saying...
and then you got this.
Women and people of color. I'm like, well, what box do I check? Because I'm both.
Well, then check 2 boxes and get twice.
How about I just check that I'm the magnanimous? What do you say, Denise Thomas? But let's go back to the question, Dr. Ken. I digress. Why do you think that is still in 2025? People have so much trust and reliance on mainstream American media, and I am so thankful that I grew up in a West Indian home. My mother is Guyanese,
right,
and all of her side of the family, since I can't even, since I was a child, was big on traveling the world and just exploring the continents outside of North America. But why do we still, in 2025, perpetuate this stereotype that if it's not the U.S. and if it's a country or a continent that is non-white, it's unsafe?
Take the first letter of every word I say.
Okay.
You ready?
Are you speaking in code? Okay, hold on. Let me get my. It's like a riddle. I love riddles.
It's really not.
Oh.
False evidence appearing real.
Ooh.
It's called fear.
False evidence appearing real.
So whatever
Fear.
you think in your mind, and whatever you have, right? So we talk about, example, MPS schools. Oh my God, but we haven't had any shootings in MPS schools. We've had shootings in predominantly white schools and suburbs and all over the country. So then you have to ask yourself, so then why are people so fearful? Because in their mind, if it doesn't, and I would dare say everybody does this, if it doesn't match your understanding, your culture, your race, your upbringing, your religion, all that, then something's wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with me.
Well, I can answer that question. That's image. Like the images of people that.
No, because now you're trashing the news. And, we show crime in the suburbs. Oh, wait, those are black people committing crimes.
But it doesn't matter because you can literally show a picture of a white man committing whatever type, whether it was civil, criminal, the image that has been perpetuated. Even, okay, this is unfiltered, right? It's to the point where even black people are scared of black people. Like self-hatred.
Sure. But I don't know if I'm going to go to self-hatred.
Oh, you have to.
No, not me. You can. Absolutely. But
we're speaking in general about our race.
Right. But I wouldn't call it self-hatred. I think that's too easy a moniker to put on it.
I think it needs to be said like that.
There's a lot of conditioning. Well, okay. But there's a lot of conditioning that has happened to people. The media. And coming up, you really didn't have what we have today. So boomers, older boomers, and older Gen X are victim of the 3-channel TV, right?
Well, let's do this
ABC.
first. What's your definition of self-hatred? Let's first define and establish how you define self-hatred in the sense of our community as black people.
I'll start by saying what it's not. Being fearful of someone and you think they're going to harm you and they're the same race, I don't believe is self-hatred. I think self-hatred is when you don't want to be around people like you. You don't want to talk to people like you. You don't want to be associated in any way with your own culture. All your friends are not your same culture. And this can happen in any race. And from growing up, I'm not speaking for today because I don't know what today. From growing up, it was really prevalent in the Jewish community. And so one of the things that I learned about that is people would go to unnerving ends to not let people know they were Jewish.
The nose jobs.
Everything.
Listen,
the hair.
This is why I know Dr. Ken is a genius. Because and I'm not making this up, y'all. This is why I tell him all the time, like, Dr. Ken, dummy it down. Let me tell you why I know Dr. Ken's a genius. I have literally Googled the term self-hatred. The first thing that popped up was a book authored by Theodore Lessing titled Jewish Self-Hatred, which is identified as a pathology of a manifestation of an over-identification with the dominant culture and internalization of the prejudices. So, based on what you said and this book, there have been studies from sources stated in the scholarly research that mental illness in Jews often derived from feelings of inferiority and self-hatred resulting from persecution and their subordinate position in society, which is pretty identical to black folks too.
Correct.
That's why I said anytime.
But I don't know if I would be that general with it. I think it's very specific when it happens to people. But I also think that it manifests itself different. So when we come back, how does that manifest itself in black versus Jewish? Because you already talked about Jewish, but how does it manifest itself in
the
black
LGBTQIA plus community as well, and women. So basically, traditionally marginalized groups.
I don't know if I would call Jewish traditionally marginalized.
Oh, I would.
That's just me.
Let's talk about it when we come back. I want to hear your perspective on that. I would.
That is true. You're listening to The Truth Unfiltered. Denise Thomas. I'm Dr. Ken Harris.
Wisconsin's Midday News.
We're following breaking news of an officer shot in the leg. Law enforcement sources tell WTMJ that officer was shot in an incident near 27th and Wisconsin.
The Milwaukee Board of School Directors chooses Dr. Brenda Caselius to become the next superintendent of MPS.
Join Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty every weekday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
And Summerfest today with its artist drop, all the side
Love it.
stages.
Only on WTMJ.
If you want to add a unique and stunning feature to your home, decorative art glass can be used in a variety of ways to really increase its wow factor. Think of adding a wonderful work of stained glass art to some of your exterior windows, foyer, or front door entry. We can make sure the measurements fit spot on, and you don't even have to replace the glass. You can just add the art glass over the top. It will add some real ambiance that changes as the sun moves throughout the day. And a paint of protection too, which never hurts. Our decorative glass artists are delightful to work with. And they just might give you some ideas that you love, but never even thought of. There's so much of the same out there. Adding a customized work of stained glass art to one or more of your home's windows can really set it apart. This is Stacy Sinks with Less's Glass Service. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Less's Glass. Less's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lessglassservice.com.
You wake up feeling like you just boxed 12 rounds. Some wake up sweating with sore jaws, headaches, and a lot of our patients complain of brain fog. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula, and these signs, often joined with snoring, are sleep apnea symptoms. And if this sounds like you may have been in a struggle last night between you and this serious disorder. Many people aren't willing to fight back. But the fact is, you can't go through these nightly struggles without ramifications that each night chip away at your life's expiration date. I get it. You don't want to wear a CPAP mask. You may find out you don't need one. We have every effective sleep apnea solution available. And believe me, the mask is the last resort.
It's time to take action to stop your sleep struggle. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
Welcome back to The Truth Unfiltered with Denise Thomas and Dr. Ken Harris.
So y'all trying to make me dance tonight too?
Are you a Kendrick fan?
Oh, absolutely.
Why?
Because I think it's time that a new era of entertainer starts to come. And so I was sitting somewhere watching the Super Bowl when Kendrick Lamar came on. And it was a predominantly white place. And you could see people go, I don't understand. What is that? And I said, now you know how I feel when.
What is that? Like, what is he, like a.
The music. They don't listen to the music.
What is that?
I said, that's how I feel when I listen to country music.
Okay, let me just say this before we go back to our topic, okay? This is my spiel. And I'm going to say this and I'm going to be done with it. Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime performance had nothing to do with him going out there and break dancing and dancing. And
but they didn't do what they expected. They said it was a black guy, so they expected what circa 1970.
Listen,
I think it was a phenomenal performance.
Listen, as soon as it began, I was just like, I have never witnessed such saying something without saying something.
Right.
At that level, like,
I am
Kendrick Lamar is a genius.
I am insulting you and slapping you
at the same
without
time.
you really knowing it.
He's a genius.
And
I was like, that was crazy.
And so I had a conversation with somebody when it came out the first time, right? And they were talking, and I said, I thought it was trash. Well, why'd you think it was trash? I said, well, first of all, you're only backing Kendrick Lamar because you identify with Kendrick Lamar. I said, but I thought it was trash because he should have told them directly. This is what I'm saying. We ain't skipping around and we're not going to have some lyrics.
But that's not art.
No. I get it. Generation, right? Hey, Denise, yeah, I don't like you. And I don't like this, and this. But the flip side to that was, when you saw, I forget her name, the tennis player.
Oh, Serena Williams.
Doing the crip walk.
Genius.
And when you see Samuel L. Jackson, they were, and the cool thing about it,
Uncle
he would
Sam.
say lyrics to talk to this group, and the other folks would come out and say it to you directly, and people went, whoo! They were like, well, yeah, he's trying to tell you something about America.
I'll tell you.
That we still love it, but y'all still got some stuff.
And everybody, teases Samuel Jackson. I shouldn't say teases, but like the role that he played in the Django.
Right.
He was like the house.
But it's a movie.
Okay, let me just say this, though.
Yes, ma'am.
Kendrick Lamar, I'm still peeling back layers. I've watched that performance, and I'm still peeling and discovering new subliminal, but yet powerful messages. Bell bottoms.
Yeah.
He wore bell bottoms.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as a man of law enforcement, you understand the history with bell bottoms in terms of how they came to be, the design, the wide bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't. And I said, okay, if Kendrick Lamar went out and spent $500,000 on a diamond necklace that had A minor, the little minor A, I was like, every garment of clothing that he wore had some type of meaning or
including the jacket
or messaging.
Right.
So I did some research.
Mm-hmm.
And
on bell bottoms. Shocking, wasn't it?
And I was like, he is a genius. So let me just give the quick history of the bell bottoms. So
during Black History Month, of course.
During Black History. So bell bottoms originated in the 19th century as part of the uniform of sailors.
Correct.
In both the British and American navies. Right. The wide leg that we see made it easier to pull them on and off when they were wet. And so this would often help, if you were in a line of fire or whatever.
And it didn't grip your leg. If you got injured, they could pull it off.
Exactly.
And watch this. If you got injured, they can literally pick you up on all four, grab the pants and material, and carry you where they need to go.
Talk to them. Teach them, Dr. Ken.
Yeah.
And it also allowed sailors to roll up their pants while working in muddy conditions. So that's the technicality of the bell bottoms. Right. So I'm sure you're probably saying, Denise, what does that have to do with a rap artist? I'm so glad that you asked.
What does that have to do with a rap artist?
Because this was a purposeful clothing garment that was used in battle, in war, in fighting a good fight, defending your position.
Right.
If you fast forward to the late 60s and 70s, during the Black Power movement, what were we wearing?
Bell bottoms.
I'm done.
Yeah.
He's a genius! Yeah. He's a genius. Yeah. I would have never, because I was
now, you know that just went over most people's head, right?
Well, Dr. Ken, full transparency, it went over mine. But see, here's the thing about being curious.
Right.
Most creative people are curious. I know I'm creative because I have all this. I have ADHD. I have creative people.
Right.
I probably couldn't even remember what we talked about when we first came on the show 15 minutes ago.
I don't, because I have ADHD.
So with that, I embrace it.
Right.
But when you're a creative person, you're naturally inquisitive. So what I love about the internet is that if I don't know something,
right,
or if I'm curious about something, I can go dum dum dum.
Wait a minute. I have a subscription to Chat GPT. I can look up, and an hour and a half later, I'm still looking at stuff, and then you give me the paragraph, and then I make it 1,000 words, and then I see a word in it, and then I got to look at the origin of that word, and it just goes. I love it.
Listen, I'm all about artificial intelligence in that sense.
Yep.
And so going back to Kendrick Lamar, all I'm saying is this. If you're someone who's structured and just wants everything to be
this rigid, and
I get why you didn't appreciate the performance, and that's cool. And what I find interesting is I've seen a lot of individuals say, "Well, he didn't have any white people on the stage." Are you kidding me right now? This is the same country that literally said, we're getting rid of D&I. We want every American, regardless of their race, color, creed. And so as soon as Kendrick Lamar follows the assignment, now we want to have diversity.
But you understand that the other side of the brain, when it's all white, there's no question about it. There's no, well, what's wrong with that? It's the same as the argument I had with people saying, we want the black students to eat with the white students because it's so noticeable they sit together. I said, yeah, but 90% of the rest of the room is all white eating together, and you never question them and say, did they ever go over to the black students or the Hispanic students and say, hey, y'all want to sit with me? Or actually go sit with them. See how it feels to be the one.
And that is what we call equity. Right. When you go to that person. Now you done got me started. So let's go back really quick.
We're going to start because we're supposed to go back to something.
I know. I got it. I got it right here because you sent us some great notes. If you have not already dissected the layers of that performance, I would strongly encourage you as an American, regardless of your race, your gender, your religion, just research. We come back from break. We're going to get off the performance because this is a whole show.
Let's get off the performance.
Okay, we're going to get off the Kendrick Lamar performance. My final thoughts are, again,
yes,
whether you understand Kendrick Lamar as an artist, it is important that you at least watch it maybe 2 or 3 times and just peel the onion layers back
and
on.
Listen.
And thank you.
Yeah.
And just learn. This is America. You are listening to The Truth Unfiltered. I am your co-host, DT, also known as Denise Thomas, with the 8-syllable word using.
I'm done.
Dr. Ken Harris. We'll be back.
It's the biggest savings event of the year. Menards' 11% rebate sale is here. Save big money on everything you need for any project. We've got something for everyone. Homeowners, contractors, DIYers, the kids, and even grandma. Get an 11% rebate on everything at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
11% mail-in rebate is a merchandise credit check. Good on future in-store purchases. See menards.com for details.
I'm excited about it. These cutting-edge things that are new in medicine now, I'm all in on it. I'm all in on QC Kinetics. It works.
Henry Hinton decided to check out QC Kinetics regenerative treatments for his aching knees after seeing a close friend have amazing results without going under the knife.
I have a friend that started this, which is one of the reasons that I decided to do it. He could not play golf anymore, and he went to QC Kinetics and started having the treatments, and he's back golfing like 3 days a week. He couldn't play at all.
QC Kinetics gets you back to doing what you love, using your own natural biologics to help heal and restore damaged joints. Long-term relief that puts a guy back on the golf course.
I've had one treatment so far, and I can already tell a difference. QC Kinetics works. I'm excited about it.
You're next. Start with a call to QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
No matter how many people are in your family, buying new jackets for the cold weather months can be expensive. But when you shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, prices on cold weather jackets will give you a sigh of relief because thrift store prices mean great deals. And right now we have a great selection. Find great deals on cold weather jackets for the family at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
This is The Truth Unfiltered with Denise Thomas and Dr. Ken Harris.
This is The Truth Unfiltered with Denise Thomas and the Dr. Ken Harris. Dr. Ken, we are moving from the brief op-ed that I provided.
Brief?
Nothing I do is brief.
Brief?
The brief op-ed regarding the Super Bowl halftime performance. Again, if you have not peeled the onion layers back, and when I say that, I mean, just understand everything was symbolic. Everything from the bell bottoms to the A minor. Right. He spent $500,000 on an A minor just to show Drake. I was like, and the Serena will, really quick. This is breaking news. So Stephen A. Smith basically accused Serena Williams of being inappropriate for trolling Drake since they dated by doing that, dance during Kendrick Lamar's performance.
Right.
Her husband, founder and owner of Reddit, gazillionaire, Jewish guy as well, Serena Williams' husband. He made a statement to Stephen A. Smith. You have to read it. If y'all have not read this statement, I'm sure you can Google it. You can go to Twitter or X. And when I tell you, I'm trying to get to that point, Dr. Ken, where I can cuss somebody out without using profanity. Oh, he cussed Stephen A. Smith out in a very, and there was not one sentence. And I'm not going to read it, but seriously, if you have not read it already, read the statement, the public statement that Serena Williams' husband, and I forget his name, but he's the founder and owner of Reddit and other like tech companies.
Right.
He killed it. And Stephen A. Smith needs to be quiet.
They can say what they want to say. That's what makes the world go round.
You're right. And that's what he gets paid to do.
That's what
look
at
me of all people. Tell us something.
Right.
Tell somebody.
Really?
You're right, Dr. Ken. You checked. That was a good check. You're right.
That's
what we are all as
he
talk
gets to the edge, right?
You're right.
Now,
My bad.
Now watch this. He got to the edge and she didn't reply. He replied.
That's her husband, as he should.
So how do you think he gonna respond? Oh, she can't speak for herself. You don't let your wife speak for her. Like, there's so many layers you can pull back and say, now you speak for her? Oh, so now the white Jewish guy got to come in and speak for the black girl. She can't speak for her. Like, all that. You know it's coming.
I know, but I would hope that the normal people would say, no, that's a husband advocating for his wife.
And then all of them will sit back and watch.
Right. No, you're right.
Tink, 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 tink. And then social media going to blow it.
Because he just got like 100. What was it like? He got a new contract maybe last year or 2 years ago.
Stephen?
Yeah, it was like 100. And
you know when people know you off ESPN more than they know you on ESPN, and you started on ESPN? Come on now.
Because what is this podcast that's like blown up?
I watched dude on General Hospital.
What?
Yes.
Stephen A. Smith was on General Hospital?
Yes.
Stop lying. Are you for real?
And by the way, there's a black soap that's starting on February 24th. I got to check that out.
Okay, on CBS.
Yep.
Okay, wait a minute. Time out. Are you for real? Are you playing?
What?
Stephen A. Smith was on the soap opera General Hospital.
Yes, he has a recurring role.
I don't believe that. Dr. Ken, you're pulling my leg.
Why don't you use the Google that's in front of you?
I don't.
And Google. Now let's get back to what we were talking about because I don't even remember what it was.
No, we were talking about self-hatred. And I was asking you, because we were, there's obviously distinctions between different communities that experience or have been impacted by self-hatred. Women, Jews, LGBTQIA+, and black and brown people.
Right.
Asians, I don't know, because here's the thing. And whether it's, Middle Eastern.
It can happen to anybody, I think.
Well,
let's be equitable.
Based on my experience, and so this is not a monolithic statement. This is based on my lens. The Asian community, they know who they are. Like,
sure.
Like, yeah.
We know who we are
because
too. But when you grow up in a predominantly white suburb and you're the only black person or brown person there, and then you see on TV all the things that happen, all the negative things that they show about black people. The white people around you support you. You're not like them. So then you grow up, and I've seen it. You go to college, and it's the one black kid that hangs with all the white people to the point where, and I guess it's out there now, black people speak to each other, either by eye, head nod, something. And they purposefully look away and look down because they don't even want to be associated with you. That's, for me, that's self-hate.
Oh, I completely agree.
When I see kids, and I think to myself,
in the workplace,
do you
black
understand,
people congregating?
Do you
separate.
understand that when you get out of this school, the world is those same people you call friends may not associate with you.
Well, it's just like lower and
middle class,
working middle class people who just Trump wouldn't he has no clue what your life is like. He doesn't know anything about what the cost of now, Dr. Ken.
He had to work and he had to come up.
See, now he's messing with me. He's trying to get me started, y'all.
25 buildings and he started his.
Like every time I see
he's privileged like every other
a white man with a flannel shirt on and some jeans and make America great again. I'm like, now he would never. Like when he told y'all to go to Capitol Hill, he knew exactly the demographic to target. Because how many, let me ask you a question. Is the truth unfiltered? Okay, let's go there. How many millionaires or even six-figure corporate C-suite executives did you see on Capitol Hill?
When?
On January 6th.
I'm pretty sure they weren't there.
I know they weren't there.
Or they were so far in the back.
He knew exactly the targeted white men.
Sure.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like when I see certain white people, I'm like, do you know that Trump, he could care less about your problems?
And that's a class thing, not a, you know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying, though.
It's a total class thing.
Because in this country, to me, it goes, the isms, in terms of my experience, it goes racism, sexism. No, hold on. Racism, classism, sexism, and then the other isms fall.
And see, I would say classism is first because I think we've couched it in racism because it's so easy to use it when, in fact,
you think
those same people wouldn't want, watch this, people from Brookfield don't want people from West Dallas moving into their neighborhood.
I know that's right.
So West Dallas was predominantly white.
But hold on, though.
But
what about rich black people that still get the you know, like there's a saying in our community, you could have all the money in the world, but you still even Jay-Z talked about that on his 444. Yeah, you still So that's why
while you live in a suburban gated community. But and it's predominantly white.
So you're saying that classism supersedes?
Well, look, the richest county in America is what? Out in Maryland. And
Prince George's?
And it's predominantly black.
Prince George County.
They ain't letting us move in.
What's crazy, though, what's ironic, check this out.
Yeah.
Prince George County is the richest county.
Mm-hmm.
What's ironic is that the number of, like, high-ranking high school graduates is at an compared to...
it's low.
It's so low.
Right.
So basically, you got a bunch of rich black kids that
privileged black
ain't got to go to school, ain't got to study.
Who have grown up to see what their parents do, and they do not want to follow in those footsteps. So they are rejecting everything their parents asked them to do. Now, the problem is that's going to be detrimental to them.
So Dr. Ken, are you going to answer the question that I originally presented regarding self-hatred?
Which is?
So you, and thank you. You shared with us your definition of self-hatred. And it's synonymous with mine.
Right.
I think in terms of how it develops, that's where you and I differ.
Right.
And I will give an example because I noticed a number of organizations and a number of studies around Black women in the corporate workspace or predominantly white environments such as corporate America. 79% of Black women that were surveyed said that it is literally exhausting in terms of getting ready to go to work.
I say that about any woman.
Well, in particular, Black women, our hair, making our hair. And I know a lot of women right now, a lot of Black women are embracing their natural hair. And now there's a law. There's even Alderwoman Malele Cogg, shout out to her for getting the Crown Act passed, which is where you can't discriminate against someone based on their hair. So if they're wearing like dreadlocks or cornrows, they're wearing their natural hair, you can't discriminate. Because there's been a lot of studies conducted where it's been proven where they take 4 Black women, 3 of which are wearing what they call relaxed hair, what I call the European style. And where one other woman of those 4, she was wearing her natural hair, whether it was micro braids or whatever. She didn't make the second round of the interviews, but the other 3 did. That's an example of where I am conditioned to hate my natural self. And I'm conditioned to see myself as inferior. And the only time that I can even remotely be close to being accepted is if I compromise my identity to where I make white people feel comfortable. Whether that's the way I talk. 'Cause remember, we used to talk about code switching, the Black voice and the white. Like when the Bill people call, "Hi, how are you? Yes, this is Denise. How can I help you?" Turn that, like how we would.
How she would.
How we would code switch.
Me?
Dr. Ken, you are consistent. You are the exception. You don't code switch. I have never in my life since I've known you seen you code switch. You are consistent. And I'm getting better at that too. I'm pretty much
as you mature,
you care less.
Certain things fall away in terms of importance. And so ask me your question because we got to go to break.
Self-hatred.
Yes.
Do you feel as though our community as black people are still navigating through self-hatred to the point where it still impacts how we exist in this country?
No.
I completely disagree. When we come back from break,
I'm going to say why.
We'll hear from Dr. Ken. You're listening to The Truth Unfiltered with DT and Dr. Ken Harris on 620 WTMJ and 101.7 The Truth. We'll be back.
Don't count us out. Not
Lillard
yet.
scoops to the hoop, lays it in. The Bucks have taken a 1-point. Lopez in transition, squeezes up a three, and he drilled it. The Bucks throwing fire.
This season is far from over.
To work with, drives inside and stuffs it down with the right hand. 59 points now for Giannis. He's tapping his chest as he goes the other way, saying, "This is my house.
We are the home of the Bucks.
This is my house."
WTMJ.
So it's about time you spruced up your home. Nothing major. You're not looking to spend a ton, but you are looking for something that'll give your quarters a little upgrade. You know, there are a lot of things you can do with glass. Simply beveling your mirrors can do wonders. You can mill out your wood cabinet doors and replace the center with attractive glass inserts, or customize them with unique handcrafted artistry, or maybe a theme. You could even install a new glass shower door and add some real appeal to your bathroom. They're all pretty affordable home improvements. And Les's Glass Service has been helping homeowners like you for just about longer than anyone in town. You probably don't realize how affordably we can help you reach your home's full potential. But we do, and we can show you countless options. So if it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Les's Glass. Les's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lesglassservice.com.
Some things are fine to buy from a vending machine, but despite what a certain national online company tells you, a car's not one of them.
Let's see. Cheese Doodles, Mr. Nougat Bar. Oh, here we go. Green 4-door hatchback. Honey, we're gonna need some more quarters.
Sure, they make it seem convenient, but it won't be so convenient if you have a problem with the vehicle you buy. And if it's after 7 days, good luck. Adam member dealers also let you search online. And unlike those national companies, you get to see the vehicle in person and test drive it before you buy it. You also have the assurance that the vehicle's been thoroughly tested, and if any issue does come up, your local Adam member dealer is right here to service it, and can also provide low financing and top dollar for your trade. Think about that before you take a chance with their so-called vending machine.
What? It's stuck. No! Oh, rats.
Start your search at adamm.com.
You're listening to The Truth Unfiltered with Denise Thomas and Dr. Ken Harris.
Yeah. You're listening to The Truth Unfiltered.
No, it's not gonna be the truth now because you about to cheat.
You know what that is? That is not self-hatred. So before the break, she was saying, listen, you don't know what I was about to say.
Okay.
Assuming. Before the break, we were talking about self-hatred, and you gave your rendition of what you believe, your definition of what you believe self-hatred was.
Is.
And, was is in the prior segment.
I'm just messing with you.
You're not messing with me. Just showing you don't know English. That's all right.
I'm a proud Evansville public school graduate, so I know my grammar is not great. I own that.
Yep, I got a hold of my them, these, those, and y'all.
No, you don't, Dr. Ken. There's no word that's less than 2 syllables in your vernacular, so keep going, though.
Incredible.
See?
That's
incredible. See? That's why you don't get invited to the cookout, because you be using all them long words. People got to have a dictionary and a thesaurus to have a conversation with you, Dr. Ken.
Go to cookouts.
Oh, no, keep going. That's a whole nother episode.
I love getting you just, what? So what it is not self-hatred. What it is survival. And so when you're able to adjust yourself because you know you're going into a place that, regardless of how you feel about yourself and what you think about yourself, in order to make it through the day, in order to survive, in order to have a job, in order to live, you have to do things that on the outside other people think is self-hatred, selling out, making yourself look like this. But part of the problem is we've benchmarked white people, like made them the arbiter of right. So if I try to get a job and work and survive, to be told that's self-hatred, I say no, it's not self-hatred, it's survival. Was it self-hatred for the house Negro to go into the house knowing that he could at least have a relationship with the master, so if somebody did something and it feel wrong, he had their ear, but we negated it. Oh, look at him. He did it. Well, one, he or she was only there because they were the child of the person anyway. And it was light enough where it wasn't intimidating. And if it was a woman, they could nurse their children.
Please say that again so that people can. So when he says light enough, right? Because I want to make sure our white listeners understand. Even in our race, we have what we call colorism. Yeah. So whenever you have close proximity to a white complexion, you are treated. That's what we call it. The light skin. But go ahead, I'm listening.
And on I disagree. Note, but I've argued with people, and people got mad at me. Well, you light skinned. Well, I don't consider myself light skinned.
No, you'd pass the paperback test.
Wow.
You would.
Wow.
Have you done it? Have you?
No, I've never done it.
Yeah, you'd pass the paperback test.
But then so do you.
Oh, I know I'm light skinned because y'all.
But I don't call myself.
Y'all remind me red bone, light skin.
Anyway, so at some point, in order to make it, you have to acquiesce certain things. You have to let go of some things. You might have to alter your vernacular to speak the King's English when at home you speak a little extra. And to say I hate myself to do that, to make sure I put food on the table for my kids, I don't know if that's self-hatred. I think it's the motivation that causes you to do that can make it self-hatred. Your turn. Your court.
I have the floor.
Your ball.
All right.
And you got 6 minutes.
How you gonna be the debater and the moderator?
Because I gotta watch the time. Because you know how you go. You know how you do. You took.
I will. So I'll just simply say it.
Yes, ma'am.
If I were to ask anybody in this country that is not black, if you could trade places right now and be black, would you? I guarantee you 99.9% of any of those people, those non-black people that I asked, would say
dirt poor.
No.
Even if you became the richest black man in the world, they would still say no.
They would still say no. And the reason why I'm starting my argument with that statement is because supremacy is only supremacy based on a group of people or even any species that feels inferior, that feels oppressed, that feels put down. And in most cases, that's a form of abuse, so abused. And then subconsciously, which then becomes the primary conscious, not the subconscious, of where you think that there is something wrong with you, or you think that there is something inferior. And in order for you to be accepted or to fit in, off air, I was saying that you still have, and I'm speaking as a black person, you still have black folks that say, in order for my child to receive a quality education, we must move to the suburbs. In order to feel as though my neighborhood is safe, we must move to the suburbs. In order for me to feel as though I've made it, I'm actually now part of the American dream, I'm going to have to move out to Oconomowoc, which, by the way, Oconomowoc probably has a very, very tight threshold on how many black folks that they will allow to live or reside there before they start making it uncomfortable.
Actually, there's a good number of
Don't start, Dr.
minorities in
Kim.
Oconomowoc.
Don't start.
Because I go out there.
So I say this, self-hatred is a result, and it is a complex that has dominated Black people's ability. Because, okay, slavery was abolished in what year?
1865.
And this is 2025.
Right.
And we are still, many of us, are measuring our success based on what white people do.
Mm-hmm. But that's because everything in society does it.
And I'll give you an example. No, the dollar in our community lasts, I think, 30, 45 minutes.
I don't know if it's that low.
I'm being dramatic.
Okay.
But it's
I was like, it's not that low.
I'm being dramatic. But I mean, we could do the data, but
it's like a couple of days.
Couple of days. Compared to other communities that are just as, I don't want to say just as, but also are underserved, marginalized, oppressed, that keep their dollar in their community for months to, like, don't get me started on the Jewish community and the Hispanic community and the Asian community.
Well, remember, if I remember the statistic correctly, and we only got a minute and a half.
Well, I'm going to look it up while you're talking.
The Jewish community, I don't think it leaves the community.
That's what I said. That's why I said, don't get me started on the Jewish community, because the dollar in their community, like what's the highly populated Jewish community or borough, part of the borough in New York? Is it Bed-Stuy? That's the highest populated Jewish community in the boroughs of New York. Go to Bed-Stuy, but then go to Brooklyn.
Well, which part of Brooklyn? Because they didn't,
Brooklyn
remade.
is completely gentrified.
Yes, it is.
Bed-Stuy looks exactly the same as it did
in 1922.
Come on now, what are we talking about?
When they built the building.
What are we talking about?
Yeah.
So again, Black people especially, we are the race that benchmarks off of what white people do, generally speaking, in order to feel as though we've made it. And that includes, that's why when they were like, boycott Target. I was like, we ain't gonna boycott. Which actually I'm okay with, because there's a number of Black businesses that worked very hard to get their products on the shelves at Target.
And we're going to talk about that in the 8 o'clock segment.
Yeah, but
talk about that.
Yeah, boycott Target.
You're so positive.
I'm real.
You're so positive.
And I love being Black. It's Black History Month.
Yes,
and I'm
is.
Black, y'all.
It's Black History Month every month.
It's American history. Black history is American history.
You're listening to The Truth Unfiltered. I'm Dr. Ken Harris. She is Denise Thomas. When we come back, we're going to take a look at exactly how, like, what do you do if you're a Black retailer and you're in a store like a Walmart or Target and...
I can't wait to talk about that.
DEI goes away.
Can't wait to talk about that.
We'll be right back.
If you're living with joint pain in your shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees, and you have Medicare or Medicaid insurance, coming to Rejuvenex to solve your pain problems is something you should strongly consider. First off, because our FDA-approved pain treatments have been shown in many cases to be highly effective at reducing inflammation and substantially alleviating pain. Secondly, Medicare and Medicaid cover Rejuvenex treatments, so your cost could be nothing, or next to nothing at all. Chronic pain will only worsen with age. This leads to a far more compromised lifestyle, depression, and soon they start talking surgery. And then what? You have to get in front of arthritis and chronic pain, because the sooner you do, by letting us begin to calm those pain points, the better. I'm Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas, and we can alleviate your pain so you can rejuvenate your life. Go to rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 8 o'clock, it's 15 degrees. A cold weather advisory goes into effect at midnight for all of southeast Wisconsin. Tonight, mostly clear and breezy with a low of 0 and the wind chill 15 to 25 below 0. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Jessica Gatso. No arrests yet for a murder in Madison. Officers responded just before 10 p.m. on Thursday to Thompson and Kurt Drives on Madison's northeast side to people shot in a parking lot. An 18-year-old boy died from gunshot wounds at the scene. Later that night, a 16-year-old boy showed up at the hospital with a gunshot wound to the leg. He's said to be in stable condition. One gun was recovered, and police believe this was a targeted incident between people who knew each other. Multiple uninvolved people, including children, were outside at the time the shots were fired. New York police investigating the murder of a transgender man they say was sexually assaulted and tortured for months at the hands of 5 suspected killers. ABC's Ike Ijoki has more.
Police say Sam Nordquist arrived in the Finger Lakes region of New York State in September, staying at a motel with 38-year-old Precious Arzuaga and others. On February 9th, New York State police launching a missing persons investigation for Nordquist following a welfare check request from family. On February 13th, police executing a search warrant at Arzuaga's motel room, later finding human remains believed to be those of Nordquist 15 miles away in a field in Yates County.
In Austria, 1 person was killed and another 5 injured, severely critical, during what officials call a terror attack over the weekend. ABC's Lama Hassan.
The Interior Minister saying the suspect has links to ISIS and radicalized himself online and is now charged with murder and multiple attempted murders. This incident is the second suspected ISIS-inspired attack in Austria in recent years. According to authorities, in 2020, a man carried out a deadly attack in Vienna, armed with an automatic rifle and fake explosives.
School resource officers are a key priority for the state superintendent candidates. Candidate Jeff Wright is the superintendent for Sauk Prairie School District and says SROs are an essential part of school safety.
One thing that we can do to make our schools safer is having a school resource officer on the team, and that's something that I'm hearing from parents across the state and also from kids, both in my own district and in other districts, about how they feel that that's one part of the safety plan that's essential, and I hope that our districts will find ways to make that happen across the state.
Candidate Brittany Kinzer says SROs are a mandate.
There was just research done, and the police have said how many calls they get every day. They need to have the resource officers in the school to help our schools, make sure that they're safe. And, it's the law, and I believe in following the law.
Both candidates are challenging current State Superintendent Jill Underly in Tuesday's spring primary election. The snow has ended, and up next is the bitter cold. TMJ4 meteorologist Brendan Johnson says
the northwest winds, that's what's really going to bring it in. They'll be gusting as high as 30, and temperatures are going to tumble very quickly. We go from the 20s down to the teens probably late this evening, and then overnight we dive into the single digits, and then tomorrow morning we're around or even below 0 for our air temperature.
A cold weather advisory goes into effect for much of the area starting at midnight. Your complete WTMJ forecast coming up in a few minutes. Crews in Milwaukee are continuing to clear streets before the temperatures drop. The temperature of the Department of Public Works reminding residents to make sure they're following parking signs and not following too closely to salt trucks and city snowplows. Garbage and recycling services will resume on Monday, with crews working extended hours through the week and Saturday as needed to catch up. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News time is 8:03.
This change has leveled us up while being able to maintain the same quality of service that we've always provided, with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission. We're proud to be part of the Century 21 family, so you can move fearlessly with the added confidence of top-of-the-line marketing for maximum home exposure. And that means more eyeballs and the real potential for the highest price for your home. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. First off, our 1.9% commission structure helps get their foot in the door, and that's why agents like working here. But what they really like is having the strongest marketing tools available, with the resources to help them sell homes at the highest prices to satisfy their clients. Century 21 Benefit Realty offers what agents like most, and that's to help them be successful. If you really want to believe in the business model that you're representing, give me a call. I'm Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty. Call me, and let's talk about your future. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Staying active, essential for overall health. Proper medical support, essential for staying active. WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Whether it's keeping a weekend warrior like me on the tennis court or keeping young athletes in the game, you want the best in sports medicine, that's OAW. Surgeons, nurses, and physical therapists help you recover from injury, avoid injury in the future, and enhance performance. Get care 7 days a week. Walk right in at an Ortho ASAP clinic or book an appointment appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law offices. One call, that's all sports desk. The NBA All-Star weekend underway. The Bucks return to the court on Thursday. In Wisconsin, women's basketball, the Badgers defeated Penn State this afternoon 75-68. Badger sports updates are sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding and a whole lot more. The Daytona 500 is underway. Reigning NASCAR Cup Series champion Joey Logano took the opening stage, and Ryan Blaney took the second segment. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. Looks like we just have one incident to look out for this evening. That's on 41894 South at Lincoln Avenue. Looks like that is now pulled over to the right shoulder. Just a disabled vehicle there. Time for the WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, mostly clear, breezy, and very cold with that cold weather advisory starting at midnight. A low of 0 and the wind chill 15 to 25 below 0. Monday, partly sunny, breezy, and still very cold. A high of 8. Wind chill 20 to 10 below 0. Tuesday, mostly sunny and bitterly cold still. A high of 10. Wind chill 25 to 5 degrees below 0. Wednesday, mainly cloudy. We have a slight chance for flurries towards the evening, a high of 14. Thursday, partly sunny, a high of 20. On Friday, partly cloudy, a high of 24. Right now in Madison, it's 10 degrees. In Green Bay, it's 11. In Waukesha, it's 10. And in Milwaukee, it's 15 degrees. I'm Jessica Gatso, Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 8:06.
This is The Truth Unfiltered with Denise Thomas and Dr. Ken Harris.
None of the individuals that are serving on his cabinet, and I want to be clear when I say this, and it's not to be critical or to be biased, it is a fact. No one that he has selected to serve on his cabinet knows what it's like to make decisions about whether I can go to the doctor so I can live longer, or because I can't pay, file bankruptcy and put myself in a even further financial burden. No one of those people know what that's like. Not one.
What is it about DEI that gets under your craw? Like, what is it about DEI that makes people just get upset, get mad, lose it? Like, what is it? Like, I don't know.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studio at the Avenue.
Here's Denise Thomas and Dr. Ken Harris.
You are listening to The Truth Unfiltered with DT and Dr. Ken. The 6-hour black dollar.
Well, before you start, I got a question. First of all,
course you do.
Thank you, Jessica Gatso, for the news at the top of the hour. We appreciate
You're welcome.
it.
Yes.
Don't we appreciate her?
Of course.
Okay,
Thank you.
Jessica.
I really need you to change something in your news story.
Oh, Lord. Jessica, I told you to run.
You did tell me to run.
Jessica, I told you to run.
Could you at least be open-minded about it? You ready?
Yeah.
When you do your weather, can you remove those dashes that's in front of the windshield?
Right? Now, Jessica, I'm with you on that.
I wish I could.
I was Team Jessica.
I could. Oh, yeah.
Could you just get an eraser, you're on a computer, just delete, just put it in front, put that little cursor thing right to the right of it and then hit delete.
If that worked, I would have done it.
Or just hit backspace. Just, it's gone.
And I live in Dallas now. And so to actually be here, it's a whole nother level of disrespect when you move to a warmer climate and return back to your previous home and it's like this. This is disrespectful temperatures.
When you come back to Milwaukee from south of the equator, something wrong with you.
I know.
Something is wrong with her. But Jessica, if you could just do me that, so when 9 o'clock rolls around. And,
well, we'll do that. I don't think we should be allowed to have a cold weather advisory in the same week as a winter weather advisory.
Isn't that terrible?
That's a little, yeah.
What is that?
Dr. Ken, what did y'all do to Mother Nature? Because Mother Nature does not like Wisconsin.
It's Jessica and Evan's fault.
Mother Nature is like, Wisconsin. All right.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, thank you so much, Jessica.
Right.
Appreciate you.
I tried. I
told you to run, Jessica.
She does
anytime Dr. Ken
Sunday,
says, "Can I ask you a question?"
And it was just a couple dashes in front of the.
That's like how
the 15 and the 25. Just get rid of dash. We'll be good.
That's like how men are when a woman says, "We need to talk." You just see smoke from the feet. The man runs, baby. We need to talk.
And if I generalized about women, you would hit me upside my head.
Dr. Ken, you do it all
I do not.
the time.
I
You
do not.
generalize women all.
I do not. When? Give me the last example that I generalized.
I'm trying to stay
Generalize.
focused.
Oh, okay. I'll let you stay focused.
But I will come up with one. You do it all the time
probably
because I check you on it.
You try.
I check you on it.
You try.
Okay, anywho. Before break, we were talking about the circulation time of the black dollar in the black community compared to other marginalized communities like the Jewish community, the Hispanic Latino community, and the white community. Now, interesting. Check this out, y'all. Black people in this country, especially them doggone young people making all the money on TikTok. No, that's not nice. I'm sorry. I'll say it differently. Under the age of 30.
Right.
Do you know that black people spend 1.6 trillion with a T dollars? We whether it's a good or a service, we spend, and this primarily is, tangible packaged goods or finished goods. But do you know how long it stays in the black community? Now, before break, I said the black dollar circulates in our community for about 5 minutes. And Dr. Ken was laughing, and I said, I'm being dramatic. But when I actually got the facts, guess how long the black dollar circulates in the black community? About 6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Not even a day, which is significantly less than other communities. So that means that the money spent in black communities doesn't stay in our community long. And guess where it goes? White businesses. Now, why is that? Oftentimes, and again, this is where self-hatred does play a factor. When we associate quality, we associate that with white businesses. I know it hurts to hear.
I didn't say it hurts. I just disagree.
Okay, well, here's the thing. It's a reality when you see the National African American Chamber of Commerce, along with other economic health organizations that examine wealth gaps and disparities between black and white communities. And if you have $1.7 trillion that we're spending, but yet it only stays in our community for 6 hours, the explanation has everything to do with racism and self-hatred. Because if I gave you a bag full of money and it was $1.6 trillion, no, I can't ask you. Let me just ask anybody to call in.
So
what's our call in?
That 833-212-1017 is the number if you're on the truth. And if you're at the Citing Unlimited WTMJ talking text line, it's 855-616-1620.
Now, I'm going to ask you a question, Dr. Ken, but I already know you're going to give me the exceptional response.
She just makes us. So
you
why
do.
ask me a question if you think you're going to give me the answer?
I have to engage with you.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
If I gave you a garbage bag full of cash that was the amount of $1.6 trillion, and I really don't want to ask Dr. Ken this question. Please, somebody call in, please. Just walk me through how you would spend that money.
I think the answer you're expecting to hear is that I wouldn't. I would invest it.
I knew you were going to say that.
I would buy businesses that can generate revenue and jobs in the community.
You're the exception because the numbers don't lie. But most people that if I gave them a garbage bag of cash money that was equal to 1.6 trillion would take that garbage bag and spend that money with white businesses.
But here's my issue with
Mercedes is a white business.
Here's my issue.
Jacob the jeweler is a white business.
But here's my issue with that. This is from 2021. This is the latest statistics we have because they usually do it each decade, right? There are only 2.7, and we're talking about employer businesses, not single person businesses like you and I have, right? Employer, people that have employees.
Yep.
2.7 black, but we make up 14% of the population. Hispanic-owned employer businesses, 6.9% Hispanic. 19.1% of the population, which is not true because they're counting every person they can find. White-owned employer businesses, 82%, and they make up 72.5% of the population. Asian, 10.9% of businesses, but they only make up 603%. What I'm saying is that if there's not the black business that I can go to that sells what I need, then I have to go to another business.
Well, here's the thing. How can black businesses evolve if we're not, as a community of black people, supporting the black businesses?
Because you don't sell what I need.
And why do we not sell what you need?
Because you go to Louis Vuitton for the bag instead of the black owner.
Well, I agree with you on that. But also, when you look at some of the dominant industries or the dominant industries that black people own, let's start with the beauty industry. So like hair.
Let's start with perfume.
Let's start with hair real quick.
Okay.
Who owns the beauty supply stores? The Asian community.
I think that's a misnomer, but I think they own them in our communities. I've never been to a white community where the beauty. Well,
first of all,
beauty supply. Okay, okay, disregard. You're right.
Yeah, thank you.
I went down that rabbit hole.
You did, and thank you for coming out of it.
Yeah. Okay.
So, the socioeconomic racism in this country, it is intentional, and it is designed to make sure that no matter how much money we spend, it cannot be contained in our community, because then you're going to create more equitable economic landscapes. You're going to reduce crime rates, and then that's going to put black people in a position of influence and power.
So then how do you change that?
The reason why I'm hesitant to answer that question, because we know black. That's one thing I love about being black. Contrary to popular belief, we are highly intelligent and strategic people. Because if you take any group of people that have been enslaved and yet still can rise above that significant adversity and still forgive. But my technical response would be, and it's very simple, be committed, just like during the Montgomery bus boycott that we talked about. Because the reason why I was like, man, stop talking. When people are on social media saying, boycott Target. Guess what, Dr. Ken? And you and I talked about this. That was what, 2 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
You heard anything since? Recently?
No, the boycott of all the DEI stores and all that is supposed to be February 28th.
The Montgomery bus lines boycott that took place, what year was that, 1957, 1958?
5, I think.
Thank you. Well, it started in 1955. It lasted 381 days.
Right.
A little over a year. Now, I don't know the impact, if there has been I haven't seen any like factual, reliable sources of data that have reported the impact that the initial boycott of Target has had on Target.
They probably didn't even notice.
I could guarantee you they didn't notice, because if they did notice.
Have you been at Target? Have you been at Target since they had a boycott? Okay, it's time to go to break. You're listening to.
I'm just trying to think how I want to answer the question.
It is time to go to break. We're gonna give you a couple minutes so you could filter that.
I mean, I'm not. It ain't incriminating. Regardless if I say yes or no.
And when we come back, I want to talk about Brown Girl Jane's perfume that's sitting in places like Sephora and Target and Nordstrom and Bloomingdale's.
And thank you for saying Nordstrom and not Nordstrom's, because that just irks the mess out of me. People say that. Nordstrom's, there's no S.
You're listening to The Truth Unfiltered. We'll be right back.
Warmer temps are on the way. It's time for the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin Spring Home Improvement Showcase on WTMJ. Get all the tips, tricks, and best practices to improve your home with our trusted partners, including Kohler Services, Yutka Fence, and Ridgetop Exteriors. So be listening for all of our interviews coming up on the air. Plus, we'll post everything for you. You can listen anytime at WTMJ.com. It's the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin Spring Home Improvement Showcase, only here on WTMJ.
Now's your chance. Tackle those bigger projects with an 11% rebate on everything at Menards. Transform your home with a new Dakota closet. Build your dream bathroom and save on luxury tubs and showers. Customize your kitchen with Clearview cabinetry. Or start your big garage project. Get an 11% rebate on everything at Menards. 11% mail-in rebate is a merchandise credit check. Good on future in-store purchases. See Menards.com for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Winning in the NFL comes down to the basics, blocking and tackling. In retirement, protection and income are the keys to success. Simply put, if you're nearing or in retirement, you can't afford a stock market crash. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons. Having played on winning teams with the Steelers and Falcons, studying game film was a key to success. Now I'm a best-selling author and star in a new groundbreaking documentary film called The Retirement Deception. It unveils how the Wall Street machine has been deceiving us for decades and proves you don't need to risk your nest egg in the market to have the retirement you deserve. This film shows you exactly how to protect your retirement from stock market drops and produce more income than you thought possible. I want you to watch this film for free. Call today for your free copy of The Retirement Deception. I think you would agree 30 to 40 years of saving for retirement is at least worth a phone call to watch this film and see how you can improve your retirement. Call today to speak with an all-pro retirement specialist to get your free copy of The Retirement Deception. Call 844-763-2837. That's 844-763-2837. MitchLyonsWealth.com. Your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement.
For over a century, local radio has evolved with the needs of the community. From politics to pop culture, we keep you informed, bringing you the most relevant news, online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Welcome back to The Truth Unfiltered with Denise Thomas and Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to The Truth Unfiltered. Denise Thomas, Dr. Ken Harris. So,
you may answer your question about did I boycott?
Please answer my question. Did you boycott? Because I want to jump into this whole issue of what black founders of companies that are in these stores have to deal with.
First of all, no, I did not. And for two reasons why.
Somebody out there is
number one,
clutching their pearls.
You know what? What I've learned is that people are going to feel however they want to feel about you,
right,
whether you shop at Target or not. Now, as far as the reason why I am not choosing to boycott Target is because, number one, Target is one department store. If we are truly trying to boycott, then it's not about boycotting. It's about, like you said, how do we keep the dollar in our community? Now, right. Second part of that question, as a business owner, and you and I were talking about this off air.
Right.
Let me tell you, to get your product on the shelf of a multi-billion-dollar distribution outlet like Target, the process, y'all, and I know this firsthand. Now, I am more of a service provider. I don't have like tangible merchandise or, finished goods that you could purchase. My primary, is a service. I don't have products. I have service.
Right.
But I do have a number of friends that I went through the Goldman Sachs 1 Million Black Women program through Goldman Sachs in New York. And the majority of the cohort members sold products. And you get to understand the process, Dr. Ken. Not only is it laborious, extensive, it is, and this is my opinion, it's kind of invasive. They ask you a whole bunch of questions, and you're like, well, what does that have to do with?
Give me an example of one.
I'll answer it this way. Insurance. That's not really invasive. Where are you located? How much money did you make? How much money do you plan to make?
Huh?
Do you see now you
what?
And I'm actually excluding some other questions. I'm just trying to give like
I feel you.
But so I hope that for people, and here's another thing. Now I'm about to get unfiltered and I'm about to ruffle some feathers. Don't tell me to boycott Target and you work for a company
Right. That you're not boycotting. Right.
that you know doggone well has policies and procedures, even though they may not have said we're getting rid of DE&I, look at the board of directors makeup. Look at the C-suite makeup. And yet you want to tell me to boycott one company and you get to go to work every day. Because guess what? There's a significant number of people that are black that are employed by who? Target. There are a number of black businesses that if you do not, I love Pattern by Tracy Ellis Ross, which is a black business, black owned product. It's exclusively sold at Ulta and Target. You can't even go to Sephora anymore. No, you can get it at Sephora, but I go to Target, get a ton of black owned products, especially with regards to beauty.
Right.
But my question is for those that are like, boycott Target, and yet you get up in the morning, you clock in and clock out at a company that basically may not have made a public statement.
That doesn't do as much as Target does.
What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
Even when they didn't have a DEI policy. So
we got to do better.
Yeah.
We're talking about 3 letters.
Yep.
And so I am very intentional because I can't expect people to support my business that look like me if I'm not doing the same. That's just like a rule of life. Treat people how you want to be treated. Yeah. This sweatshirt that I have on is black owned.
Unbothered, healing, hydrated, in my lane, prospering.
Yeah, I'm very intentional about supporting black businesses. When I was in Columbia, Dr. Ken, this is that dry season of my business, like, January, it was kind of dry, but I still made sure that I spent money and poured into those black Colombian businesses because that's an obligation of mine. But don't tell me to boycott one company that, by the way, still has a huge Black History Month display. Like, to me, if Target didn't say anything, you still see the same thing you saw at Target. And I'm not defending Target. I'm not saying they've not made some very significant mistakes because we've reported that on The Truth.
Right.
But Target is still a predominantly white company that has a makeup of white people in the boardroom, in the marketing department. Yeah. And so as long as you have that, and by the way, again, if you work for a corporation that is predominantly white, don't tell those people that work at Target that are black or make them feel bad. Yeah. When you do it every day.
That is funny. That is
one company. Really? That's not how we're going to impact. Because at the end of the day, whether we go to Target or not, guess what? Our dollar stays in our community 6 hours. The black dollar, 6-hour dollar. That is pathetic. And I'm part of the problem. I am. What kind of car you drive, Dr. Ken?
A used Mercedes.
I love how he tried to say used.
And I bought it used.
Doesn't matter.
On purpose.
We're not.
So I'm telling you why.
Okay.
So the money stays here and the money ends here.
Okay.
Okay. Target is responsible for overseeing businesses, their board of directors, and affairs of the company, which covers a wide range. And the first picture that pops up, Brian C. Cornell, chairman and CEO.
What's he look like?
David Albany, white. Douglas Baker, white. Barrett.
And male.
And as you scroll through,
and
you
male.
get down there are 4 women. Gail Boudreau of Elevance Health. Christine Lee of CDW. Monica Lozano, Impromedia. And Grace Puma, former executive vice president and chief and COO of PepsiCo. And then you have Derica Rice. He is the former executive vice president, black man, of CVS Health. And Dimitri Stockton, former vice president, special advisor to the chairman, General Electric. But again, what it shows is that when most companies talk about diversity, they think white female.
And that's what D&I was designed for in terms of the impact. The intention, and let me say this too. The intention for D&I may have been, we want to make sure that traditionally marginalized groups feel a sense of inclusivity, feel a sense of belonging. But the impact was the majority of the people that benefited from D&I were white women. That's not a feeling. That's not a dig. That's a fact.
People have broken up their ERGs because of DEI.
I'm sure.
They were around before the DEI policy even came into play. So that's just a company's, and that's just my opinion. We got to go to break. That's a company's excuse to get rid of those groups. And I find it unconscionable. What was it? We'll have to go to break so I can remember it.
But can I just say this really quick before we go to break?
Yes.
Why do we expect? I'm about to really make some people mad. Why do we have this expectation that predominantly white corporations are to invest in us when we?
Ooh, no, you didn't. You're listening to Truth Unfiltered. Say it again.
6-hour black dollar. It's like when and I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but it's just like when they see us cussing each other out, mistreating our women, mistreating each other.
And men.
Absolutely. And then you wonder why they're just sitting back and saying.
Yep. I have nothing to say. I'm going to push this button.
With the help of Less's Glass, you can have the shower you've always wanted. Heavy glass shower enclosures from Less's Glass are installed by the best in the business. And when you have a showroom to visit with over a dozen glass shower enclosures on display, there's no guessing games. See the ultimate in frameless shower design with doors mounted on smooth as silk, stainless steel barn-style rollers. This design combines the beauty and elegance of heavy glass with a minimalist look to create an ideal shower enclosure for tight spaces. Premium shower doors and custom-designed all-glass enclosures. When you work with Less's Glass, you're working with a company that really can do it all. This is Stacy Sinks with Less's Glass Service. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Less's Glass. Less's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lessglassservice.com.
Before you go looking for an area rug that you'll have to settle for because you think that the one you really want will be out of your budget, come to Design Exchange, where you'll find a formidable selection of Oriental, Persian, and other wool area rug choices at 25 to 70% off retail. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
If you're trying to find really good, high-end, distinctive furniture, the kind they just don't make anymore, then come to Design Exchange. But you better get here quickly, because the best furniture we take in on consignment doesn't usually last long. It may be vintage, it may have once been out of your range, but now you'll find it's priced right. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value.
Design Exchange.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA, founder of Right Choice Tax Resolution and best-selling author on how to have less stress with the IRS. We have talked with a number of new clients who told us the same story. They had a tax situation and went with one of those national firms with the TV and radio ads. They guarantee they can settle your tax owed for pennies on the dollar. They take a $10,000 fee up front, and then you never hear from them again. We are a local firm and just want to help you resolve your situation so you can get on with your life. Don't let your bank account get wiped out, your paycheck or Social Security check get garnished, or a lien put on your house so you can't sell it or get refinanced. The state can even put a hold on your occupational license. Make the right choice and call 844-222-1192 or visit rightchoicetax.us today. Schedule a free meeting so we can talk and come up with a plan to solve your situation right now. It will not go away if you bury your head in the sand. Call now, 844-222-1192, or visit rightchoicetax.us.
This is The Truth Unfiltered with Denise Thomas and Dr. Ken Harris.
So can we? I was going to say something silly, but I'm not. I was going.
Well, that's a first that he stopped after he realized he was going to say something silly.
Nah, because I know the announcer and he's a pretty cool person.
Okay.
Can we get a? You're listening to The Truth Unfiltered. You know,
you are listening to the truth.
Okay, now you say
no. I'm not doing it good. I'm not doing it well.
You know.
So, Dr. Ken, let me just ask people because we've talked a lot. Our talk and text line.
Wait,
Our talk and text line is 855-616-1620 or
that's the Citing Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line.
Or the truth.
833-212-1017.
Let us know how you're feeling, because we've been talking about a lot.
And so we'll be on here tonight, and we'll be on 620. Hello. We'll be on 101.7 The Truth Monday night.
So if you're listening on The Truth, it's Monday.
So this Malika Jones, CEO of Brown Girl Jane, founded the company with her sister, Nia Jones. They sell their products all over the place. And if you're going to boycott stores that dropped their DEI initiatives but still have black products, like, what happens to them? Do they die on the altar of?
Absolutely.
I'm
very passionate about this.
Do they die on the altar of? I mean, they went through the branded incubator. They went to Walmart, Target, all that. They scale back, but they're still on the shelf, right? They're still sitting there and all that. So when you say, I'm not going to them stores, well, many times when you went in those stores, some of the products you bought were ethnic based. They were black products that you went specifically, like you went.
And let me be clear, Target, I bought an air fryer from Target that is black owned.
Right.
There are a number of products, and
I get all my facial products from.
But let me just say this, and I think in some ways it's intentional. There are a number of products that you probably don't even realize that are black owned,
right?
That are outside of the beauty and health or beauty products.
Oh, absolutely.
Like I said, I bought an air fryer from Target. I knew it was black owned. But I didn't go in there and say, take me to the aisle, because, I want to support the business. Because you have some people, it's black owned.
And so instead of giving me a list that has all these people who dropped their DEI policies, why don't you give me a list of all the stores that sell black products and what they are? That's all I'm saying. Okay.
I mean, we have to play chess, because right now we're playing checkers.
We got to play 3-dimensional chess.
3-dimensional chess, to a point where smoke is coming out of our ears from our brains, just like the processing aptitude has exceeded the normal threshold of strategizing. That's what we got to do. Because, like I said, you know what I love about, and it's slowly but surely, I love how the Democratic Party now, and I don't know if you saw Robert Steele, the former RNC chair, who's a black man, Michael Steele.
Michael Steele, yeah.
He snapped on the MSNBC show yesterday with some. I
don't watch MSNBC.
But he was basically along the lines of, we can't do the whole when they go and no dig to
when
forever,
they go high.
We can dig to forever First Lady Michelle Obama, because that will be that's one of my sheroes.
We ain't doing
but
that.
we can't do that no more. And even Michelle Obama during the most recent DNC, she was kind of like, that whole we gotta go low too.
Right.
Jasmine Crockett, Congresswoman out of Dallas, Texas. I love her. And the reason why is because a lot of people will say, well, she's loud, she's angry, but she is giving the type of smoke and heat that the traditional ways of combating white supremacy in this country that was so disappointing during this last election, that we need loud, audacious, and maybe even obnoxious leaders. We need women. We need more white women. We definitely need more white men that are meeting that party or that side of government where they are.
Well, and somebody needs to meet the Democratic Party where they are too.
Absolutely.
Because they did a lot of dirt.
They failed.
And they failed. I wouldn't say they failed.
I did.
I would say they manipulated, duped, what was it, Spike Lee? Hoodwinked.
Bamboozled,
because you put out data in the last 30 days, last hours. You knew that was internal data that was only from the Democrats, and you said she was winning when you knew she was going to lose, and you raised how many tens or hundreds of millions of dollars so that because you knew you were going to lose, you just wanted their money.
And in the meantime,
and then when she lost, the Democratic Party didn't go, oh my God, it's her. You disappeared like you were never
Didn't say
there,
a word.
which is how they always do the black community. Every single time.
And I will say this. I've had some conversations regarding this with black people that are in my professional and personal network, and they're like, never again.
Yep.
I'll never forget, Dr. Ken, there was an ad that was part of Trump's campaign. And when I heard it, I thought, I can't say the word on air.
Dang.
No.
It was dang.
It was like,
I heard it. It was dang.
It was fudge.
Okay. Fudge cookies. Okay.
Kamala Harris is for they and them. Donald Trump is for you. I said, oh.
Killed it. Killed it.
As a communication coach?
Killed it. Just like
15-second ad, Dr.
Yep.
Ken.
Yeah.
Kamala, it was like this voice.
Killed it.
It was it was a very nurturing
Kamala
voice.
Harris.
That was it.
Them. Donald Trump is for you.
I said, oh.
Wait. Wasn't no music. It wasn't even pictures.
Did you hear that ad?
It was, yes. It was one. I think it was like a blue background with white letters with her pictures, superimposed. Boom, boom, boom. And that was it. I said.
It was game over. It was check. And here's the thing.
Wow.
I want to be clear. This is where it's strategy and chess versus checkers.
But the Democratic Party wasn't even playing a board game. They
All
was in
of
the
that,
water. They was
yes,
out in the
we
water.
can. And
Right.
Hope it worked in 2008,
Yeah.
but we at a whole nother level now of government. And when I heard that ad,
And then
I thought,
dude went on TikTok.
Man.
Killed it. And I'm sitting there going,
Kamala Harris.
You got beat by a 78-year-old white guy on TikTok. Think about that.
It's and so if that wasn't a cry,
right,
to go back to the lab,
right,
because while I'm going to just say it like this, I'm going to be Evansville Denise right quick. While we playing games, worrying about what's happening in this current administration, we should be in the lab strategizing, because before we know it, when does the campaign start? Within year 0.25 of the 4-year term. So like by 2027,
5, 6, 7, yeah, 27. Mm-hmm.
We're gonna be right back at it.
Right.
I have heard nothing from the Democratic Party.
They don't have anybody. They don't have anybody. Anybody that would have been able to step up.
If you had, like I tell my kids all the time, Christmas is it's the same day every year. If you knew that you had 2.5 years before we go back in the ring, even boxers start training for a fight. What are we doing? And when I
they
say
don't
we,
have anybody. But
when I say we, I'm not saying that.
I have to have somebody to put in the ring. There is no one.
And when I say
Who do
we,
you have?
I don't mean like all black people are Democrats. Because we saw, first of all, if non-voting was a competition, non-voters would have won the election.
True.
90 million, was it 90 million people?
Right.
Didn't vote.
Right.
So the majority of people in this country did not vote.
Yeah.
So with that compound with who did win and their policies and what they've already, see, you know one thing?
And to be honest, he's not doing anything he didn't tell you he was going to do.
Exactly. And here's the thing. Trump ain't playing games.
Democrats came in and said they were going to do something, and they didn't. And they still don't really understand why they lost. People said, you know what? Look, watch this. Donald Trump went everywhere black people were, Hispanic people were, Asian were. You never saw a Democrat. She went to all the highbrow places and the Oprah places and the CBS News places.
I will tell you,
but when you go into a black side of town in a barbershop and sit and listen to black young men in their 20s tell you the issues they have and ask you directly, what are you going to do to fix this? And he says, well, first, I have this. I have a policy. I got this. And I'm going to give you this. And we're going to have, like, and we ask her, and she gives us, like, you know, like 3 or 4
I'm still trying to understand who told her to have Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, and Glorilla. I'm still trying to understand who's responsible for that decision-making. Let me be clear. I love hip-hop music, and I love listening, depending on the time
I'm
of
not
it.
voting because Megan Thee Stallion tells me to vote.
Who told Kamala? Matter of fact,
go put some clothes on and talk to me.
And then she, I mean, yeah, so I say all that to say this.
Okay.
There are so many onion layers that we got to peel back as it relates to the black dollar, the way we vote, the way that we move during. Because at the end of the day, there's not one individual when running for a political position that does not have black people at the top of the agenda list. Like
right now,
there's not one person who is running for a public elected office that does not have what are black people doing, eating, thinking, feeling at the top of their radar. That is a fact. So if we have that much influence, along with if we're spending $1.6 trillion to white businesses or other business outside of our own, we got a lot of work to do. And it starts with what we started the show with, the self-hatred, the mindset, the conditioning.
Time to go to
that
break.
In order to be great, I got to do what white people do.
Time to go to break.
Okay.
And when we come back, what are we talking about? We'll let you know when we get back.
Wisconsin's Midday News.
We're following breaking news of an officer shot in the leg. Law enforcement sources tell WTMJ that officer was shot in an incident near 27th and Wisconsin.
The Milwaukee Board of School Directors chooses Dr. Brenda Caselius to become the next superintendent of MPS.
Join Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty every weekday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
And Summerfest today with its artist drop, all the side stages.
Only on WTMJ.
It's the biggest savings event of the year. Menards' 11% rebate sale is here. Save big money on everything you need for any project. We've got something for everyone. Homeowners, contractors, DIYers, the kids, and even grandma. Get an 11% rebate on everything at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
11% mail-in rebate is a merchandise credit check. Good on future in-store purchases. See menards.com for details.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here. You've been dealing with it forever, right? That ankle pain or the back or knee pain. It was a nuisance at first, and you kind of just put up with it. Now it's nearly debilitating for you, and it's affecting everything you do. It's time to get rid of that. Let's get rid of that pain that's always just kind of been there. You don't even remember how long it's been now. Call QC Kinetics. Groundbreaking treatments for arthritis pain, long-term relief. It is possible. Joint pain doesn't get better with time. So before it's absolutely debilitating, see if you're a candidate for this life-changing regenerative treatment. No painkillers, no surgery, no downtime. QC Kinetics regenerative treatments are sweeping the nation. Patients right here in Southeast Wisconsin. They have a location in Mequon and another in Greenfield. Call QC Kinetics today for your free consultation. And if it's easier on your schedule, they're even open on Saturdays. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today.
Cheese doodles, Mr. Nougat Bar. Oh, here we go. 4-door hatchback.
Some things are fine to buy from a vending machine, but a car's not one of them. That national online company makes it seem convenient, but it won't be so convenient if you have a problem with the vehicle you buy. And if it's after 7 days, good luck. Adam member dealers also let you search online, plus test drive the vehicle before you buy it. And they're right here to handle any issues.
But the car's stuck. No!
Start your search at adamm.com.
You're listening to The Truth Unfiltered with Denise Thomas and Dr. Ken Harris.
Trying to sing again.
Dr. Ken, I want to see you do the crib walk. Like Serena.
I will.
Oh my gosh, yes! Hold on. Please tell me
We're
when
not
you
doing
do
it right now.
Well, here's the thing. Ultimately, we were talking about, the D&I, the Target boycott based on,
Right.
I think it's like, more of like, and I don't mean to simplify it or dumb it down, but I really do feel like it's a lot of emotional. It's very emotional because we're like, wait a minute, Target, come on now, we love Target. Y'all gonna do us like that? I'm being for real. Like, it's like,
Well,
come
that's
on,
how you
Target.
did.
I'm sorry?
That's how you did. Like, wait, what? Target? Let me think about that.
Now, in 2020, Target CEO Brian Cornell pledged to confront systemic racism by vowing to invest $2 billion in Black-owned businesses by 2025. And now that we're in 2025, according to shopblack.us, Target has dismantled those promises by rolling back diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. Now, my thing is this. Between 2020 and 2025, out of that pledged $2 billion,
right,
what was actually
spent, right,
between those 5 years?
Right.
Because I'm asking, if anybody knows, let me know. I heard Target say they're rolling back DE&I initiatives. But I didn't hear them say that all the Black-owned businesses that they were investing in between 2020 and 25 were ending.
Because they're sitting on the shelf.
And I'm not seeing that. They're sitting on the shelf.
Right.
Like, I'm with you. Like, I go in and I'm still seeing the same. So, I'm not defending. I'm literally coming from a place of ignorance.
And what it sounds like what they're saying is that we're no longer going to have a carve-out. You're going to have to compete with everybody else and step up to the plate and hit the ball.
That's what I heard.
With other people who have more money, more depth, more employees, more investors. But if you're going to play ball, you're going to have to play by their rules. And when you do that, that's why it's not self-hate. It's survival.
So again, I'm just trying to understand. Now, if Target would have said, I know we said we were going to spend $2 billion with Black businesses, and year to date, we've spent about $500 million, the other $1.5 million, psych, then I would be like, now,
But I also want to know is how many sales are you getting from those Black businesses in your stores?
These are questions that I'm trying to understand. And again, I'm not saying I'm not saying that they did or didn't. I'm asking out of ignorance. Like, is that what? Because when I went to Target to get the same Black products, like Tabitha Brown, she's got cookware, air fryers, she's got books, all kind of stuff. And I know she had to make a statement, and her statement was, "You got a lot of Black-owned businesses that have products on the shelves of Target, and if you stop shopping those products." Because that'll be rationale.
They're going to disappear.
Well, why would we keep your products on the shelves if they're not moving?
Buying them. Yep. And the reason they're on the shelf is because you have proven in the past that people will buy your products.
That's all. Those are questions I'm asking before. And what was the date? February 28th?
Yep.
Was the boycott what? Everybody?
That's what I heard.
Now, see, I'm Black and I didn't get that memo. So what's the source of this? Because now I'm feeling left out.
If you go to most of them, the Griot, the Root, NBC Black, a lot of the places have the information that's out there.
And again, I here's the thing.
Newsweek has talked about it. USA Today, that national economic blackout on February 28th, list of stores being targeted.
And I would also like to know the number or the vendors. No, seriously, I would also like to know what vendors whose products are Black owned that are no longer being carried in Target. I want to know, because then I want to support.
Then it matters.
Then I want to be able to say, okay, well, what's your independent e-commerce platform where I can buy directly from you?
So here's three that the group pushing for the economic boycott is called the People's Union USA. If people do have to spend money, the group urges supporting small local Black businesses. Or did they say Black business or just small local businesses? So the nationwide economic blackout applies to all discretionary spending. The organizers are targeting some retailers in particular. Best Buy, Walmart, and you ready?
Mm-hmm.
The one that will probably go like stepping on a pebble when you're 800 pounds and 60 stories tall. Amazon. They're not going to notice. Now, people will give up Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, male, female, straight, gay, right? They'll give up on a boycott. Ain't nobody giving up Amazon. Ever. That is not going to
And
happen.
that's exactly why. No, listen, check us out. And that's exactly how they designed it. See, that's what systemic. If you are not familiar with systemic racism, please research, because that is intentional to make it's like a monopoly.
Yeah.
Where are you gonna go? And that's psychological too.
Yep.
Oh, you think you're gonna boycott? Okay, so where you gonna go?
Right.
Because last time I checked, you order from me 8-10 times a day.
Right.
Where you gonna go?
And I deliver it for free.
And I deliver it.
What we doing?
Don't live not too far from where's it, Kenosha? Where's the distribution center here?
They got Amazon Health.
What?
They got Amazon. Like I don't like if there was a place in Amazon that sold beds, I could move in and never.
Well, and this goes back to why we have to go back to the lab. We have to go back to the lab. And I know that's a very generic.
Build the lab.
We have it.
Okay.
We have it. But the thing is that it's vacant.
Ooh, that's mean.
It's real.
That's true.
I'm not here to hurt feelings. I'm here to just state the facts and the reality as well as my feelings. And we may have to go back to our elders. I heard a statement the other day that I thought was so profound. You should spend 50% of your time learning from your elders, 40% of your time pouring into the younger generation, and 10% of your time with your peers.
Yep.
And so this is a time where we should be going back to our elders and formulating the plan of what does effective, how did it work? And then we can implement the technologies and the advancements.
Those days are over. We don't need to, I don't need all that. You know, it's a new, remember a girl told me, it's a new day. Oh, okay.
And you know what killed me? Now I'm really going to make some folks mad. You don't even want to leave the house.
Right.
You don't even want to go to work. And you talking about go outside and boycott.
You ain't gonna have no
you
money
can't
to
boycott
spend.
on TikTok.
Well, you ain't gonna have no money to spend because you ain't gonna be able to keep your phone, so you can't be on TikTok.
Yeah, human beings don't even want to leave the house. Human beings do not. I'm hungry. DoorDash. I gotta go to the doctor. WebMD. I want to go to school. www.ed. I mean, like nobody. It's social isolation. So how are we going to boycott if nobody wants to leave their house? Again, I'm kind of being a Dr. Ken right now.
But again, you don't have to worry about that because if they don't go back to work, they won't have a job. So that's the only place they'll be able to be.
You want to impact black people that work at Target.
Right.
And you go into a predominantly white employer.
Right.
That may not have made a formal announcement, but again, board of directors, C-suite office. What is the makeup?
We are reevaluating the money that is spent for your ERG. And until further notice, we'll let you know what that looks like in 2026. Well, thank you, Denise Thomas.
Thank you, Dr. Ken.
Appreciate you.
Love everybody, y'all. Make it a great week. And I love how people that listen to our show are people that are part of we can agree to disagree and not leave with, I don't like them. I want to cancel them. Because we want to hear your thoughts too.
Absolutely.
So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for making the time on your Sunday or Monday evening.
All right. We'll see you bright and early in the morning. 7 o'clock on 101.7 The Truth or at 620 WTMJ. Hey, God bless. Take care. Have a great... Evan, appreciate you. Have a good one.
Well, when it comes to decorative glass, there aren't many places that offer as much to you as we do. With our in-house artist, you can have your hand in the design process, or you can let them design something for you that you may have never even dreamed of. Beautiful works of art in stained and leaded glass formats, as well as etched glass and even rice paper designs that